from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. First items, roll call.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Thank you. The next item is the flag salute. This morning, it's going to be led by Tamara Trainer, who comes from a long line of proud service members. She joined the Navy just a few weeks after turning 17 with her parents' permission. It was during boot camp that she learned that she and the rest of the company were informed that the country was at war in Operation Desert Storm. That must have been a sobering moment. She served on board the USS Simon Lake, a submarine tender, and her travels took her all the way to Scotland. The rest of her military career took place in Virginia at the Amphibious School in Virginia Beach. She now lives in Bakersfield with her husband Michael, their two dogs, Milo and Cooper. She is dedicated to helping veterans and other seniors navigate the senior living options, including care needs and available benefits as a senior living specialist. So thank you for that. Thank you for your service to the country. And at the conclusion of the flag salute, I'd ask that you remain standing for a moment of prayer, silence, and meditation, whichever you prefer. Thank you.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And thank you again for your service. Okay, that takes us to our everyone's favorite item, the pet of the week. So I'll ask Nick Cullen to come out. He's got one that he might not be able to hold up today.
No, I'll hold him up.
You can?
Yes.
He's a little shy. This one is named Blitz, right?
That's correct. Good morning, Chairman Couch and members of the board. This beautiful creature I'm holding here is Blitz. He is very interested in the crowd. He is a Border Collie mix. He's less than a year old, so he's still a puppy. Very high energy herding type dog, and he's available for adoption at the Kern County Animal
He's licking
Shelter.
Nick's nose right now. Blitz, anything from you? Nothing. He's a little camera shy. All right, let's find Blitz a forever home. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. That takes us to the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. There are 57 items on the agenda today, numbered, coincidentally, 1 through 57. Items 2, 3, 7, 8, 27, and 32 are not on the consent agenda. Everything else is on the consent agenda. Item 27 is on page 5, and item 32 is also on page 5. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on any of the items that are on the consent agenda this morning, or ask a question? Seeing none, I'll return to the board for action on that.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That takes us to the top of page 2 under the resolutions and proclamations portion of the meeting. Item 2 proclaims November 12th, 2024 as Creutzfeldt-Jakob Disease Awareness Day in Kern County, and it's, wish I didn't have to, but it's my honor to present this. So I'll make a motion on the proclamation, and I'll jump back up here when we conclude that.
Second.
Try it again. Jeff. Thank you. The motion is approved. All ayes.
So I'm joined, as I usually am when we do this, by Levon Hall. And I got a lot of things I could say about this, but Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, as you recall, is what took our mayor, Harvey Hall. And it sounds bad. It is bad. There's nothing about it we like. And again, I wish I never, ever had to give this proclamation out. Wish we never had to recognize this, but I'm honored to do that. So I'll read the proclamation. I'm going to let Levon tell you about her efforts. They've been nothing short. Harvey would be proud of all the efforts that she has put into combating this disease, and actually his entire company has been involved in that. Of course, they do it in the hallway, which they're now, you're the #1 fundraiser, right? In the whole country, of course, for this disease, to combat it. So I'll read the proclamation. I'll turn it over to Levon. The Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, has officially proclaimed November 12, 2024 as Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, or CJD, Awareness Day in Kern County. Recognition is entered into the official board minutes. I'll present this to you, Levon. I'm sorry I have to do it, but I'm honored to do so, and please tell us about your continued efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Couch, members of the board. Good morning. I'm so appreciative once again to have this recognition for CJD Awareness Day on November 12th. 2 weeks ago, we held our Strides for CJD fundraiser here in Bakersfield, and we were, for the 7th year in a row, the #1 fundraising team in the country. Out of 23 events all over the country, our event was the #1 fundraiser. And Team Big H, in honor of Harvey Hall, was the #1 fundraising team. Thank you. We broke records this year in going over $100,000 for our fundraising efforts. All of that money goes straight to the National CJD Foundation for research, for awareness, for education, and one of the things that is very important to me is for family support. This disease is very isolating. It's very, as a family member getting this disease, one of the things you're not given, actually, one of the things you're not given, you are not given any hope. You're told there's no treatment, there's no cure. Your loved one will be gone fairly quickly. Usually the average is about 4 months. Harvey passed away 2 weeks after his diagnosis. In raising money and being able to raise awareness, things like this gives families a little bit of hope that maybe someday we're going to be able to find a treatment or a cure. Researchers are doing good work. They're working on better ways to test to find CJD. They're working on, there's some valuable work on being done on the proteins. CJD is caused by prions, which is a protein in the brain that misfolds. They're working on, they don't know why, we don't know why, sometimes this happens, but they're working on ways to see if they can stop that process, stop those proteins from misfolding and becoming prions. They're doing some good work, and we're happy to be a part. My family, for the last 7 years, has funded the Harvey L. Hall Memorial Research Grant, which has gone directly to researchers all over the world to help fund them in their valuable work that they're doing. So we're very proud to have Harvey's name associated with that. And again, I appreciate all of your help, and you're helping us spread the word, do some awareness, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Chair Couch, I hope you won't mind me indulging me for a moment while I say a few words to you. Levon, I so appreciate you being here. Your physical presence here is so important. And every time I see you, I think of Harvey. I've said it before, but I'll never stop saying it. Harvey was a complete gentleman. He was a friend. He was a supporter. through really hard times. He was solid as a rock. And he is one of the best things Kern County Bakersfield has ever produced in a leader, and I mean it. And he stood with a lot of people in hard times, and he was generous beyond compare. And obviously, you were a team in that. So thank you for your partnership and the way in which that love was poured into my life, repeatedly, and without fail. And he just always stunned me with his love and generosity. And to have you here, a manifestation of that spirit, and to continue doing it is it's just so good. It's such goodness in it. And it is so righteous for Kern County. And I want to say thank you. And Supervisor Couch does a great job of continually keeping his friend in the eyesight and the heart of this community, which is, I think, a very honorable thing. So thank you. Keep up the good work. You look great. You look energetic and like you're doing something important. I mean, it's just so wonderful. It's good to see you like that.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. He's definitely missed, and I appreciate the effort to continue to keep his legacy going. And thanks for your kind words.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for that. Excellent comments. Item 3 proclaims November and December 2024 as Kern County Cares Canned Food Drive Months in Kern County, and this proclamation will be presented by Supervisor Flores.
Okay, motion on proclamation.
Second.
Thank you. The motion is approved. All ayes.
Good morning. It's going to be a good, worthy event if Lito Murillo here is with us, with Director of DHS. It's an honor to be here before you. The Golden Empire Gleaners has requested the help of Kern County employees for non-perishable foods for distribution to the county's most vulnerable citizens. And it's called the Cares Canned Food Drive, and it's aptly named because Kern County cares. Our employees really step up from all our various departments. And I think last year the CEO's office on the 5th floor took #1 spot. And thank you to Suzanne in the CEO's office for rallying us and shepherding us to #1. The Gleaners' mission is to alleviate hunger, and they provide food to approximately 12,000 people every month. The involvement and generosity of Kern County employees are vital to sustaining these efforts. And just a few stats before I present. Last year, as we participated in the Kern County Cares Food Drive, it raised $22,000, collected 94,270 pounds of food for a combined total of 140,725 pounds of food. This huge donation helped fill cupboards at the Gleaners and help feed the needy in our community. And especially during these, as we approach the holidays, this is needed more than ever. And on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, we have a proclamation proclaiming November and December 2024 as Kern County Cares Canned Food Drive for the months in Kern County, signed by our Honorable Chairman, Supervisor David Couch. Lito, the mic is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I appreciate this proclamation. I'm joined here today by Debbie Powers, who's the Executive Director of the Gleaners, and my Assistant Admin Coordinator from DHS, Karina Wilson. This proclamation officially launches our annual Kern County Cares Food Drive. It's an important drive, obviously. When you think about the number of people that are facing food insecurity in Kern County, it's staggering. There's over 200,000 people right now that are receiving CalFresh in our community. And 1 in 5 children go to bed hungry, unfortunately, in our community. We rank 15th in the state in terms of food insecurity, and we really want to be in the lower tier of that, not necessarily in the 15th area. There's about 14.3% adults and 22.8 children that are experiencing food insecurity, which is higher than the state and national average. And so that's why this drive is so important. I think it's important to know that this is more than just a collection of food. It's a reminder to all of us that so many people struggle just to put food on the table. It's also a reminder to all of us of how our county departments come together to pitch in to obviously address this issue of food insecurity. The Gleaners will officially start this food drive from Friday, November 1st through Friday, December 23rd. The Gleaners is also holding a coordinators kickoff luncheon on October 29th, and an email will be going out to department heads asking for volunteers and their coordinators. Last year, there was 25 county departments that participated, and we exceeded our internal goal of 125,000 pounds. Our total number last year was 140,725 pounds. That's 70 tons. Pretty amazing. I know Supervisor Peters laid down the gauntlet last year and upped the challenge, and we didn't quite meet the 150,000 threshold, but what's another 5 tons to reach this year? So we are keeping our goal at 150,000 in hopes that we can reach it this year. There's also a 10th annual scramble for the golf tournament that's going to be scheduled on Tuesday, December 31st at Kern River Golf Course. All proceeds will go to our food drive here, and your previous Executive Director, Doug Landon, is coordinating that event. I want to thank in advance our county departments for participating in this event. Without their help, we couldn't make this happen. We couldn't reach our goals of reaching 70 tons of food that gets distributed to our community members. Again, as Supervisor Flores alluded to, 12,000 individuals get fed by the Gleaners each month. And when you think about the Gleaners, they operate primarily on volunteers and have 4 paid staff members. And they don't receive any state or federal funds. So that's why this food drive is so important. I want to thank our county departments in advance for participating. And I'll also be remiss to say, if I didn't say that, although I serve as the Kern County Cares Food Drive figurehead, my assistant, Karina Wilson, does an outstanding job serving as our coordinator between all the county departments and the Gleaners. So I want to give a special shout out to Karina for doing that. Now I'll turn it over to Debbie for a few words.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm truly grateful for the Kern County Board of Supervisors for supporting the Golden Empire Gleaners through the Kern County Cares Food Drive 2024. For many years, Kern County employees have shown incredible generosity by participating in this food drive, and I cannot thank them enough for their unwavering commitments. Your efforts are vital to filling our warehouse with canned goods and staples, which directly help feed adults, children, and seniors who rely on the Gleaners for their next meal. Together, we are making a difference in the fight against hunger in Kern County, and your support ensures that we can continue the essential mission. On behalf of everyone at the Golden Empire Gleaners and the many families we serve, thank you so much.
Thank you all for being here. That takes us down to item 7, which is public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to comment on any matter that is not on the agenda but is under the jurisdiction of the board. Please step to the microphone, state your name, and proceed. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Susan Rodriguez, and I'm here on behalf of myself as well as other county employees wanting to talk about the Kern County Proposal Number 3 modified between the County of Kern and SEIU 521 Union. I don't understand why, as a SEIU union member, this has not been brought to a vote. My current classification has not received an equity adjustment increase in many years, and that equity adjustment increase is included in the Kern County Proposal Number 3 modified. I have called the union and left multiple messages. I've emailed them. I've asked other coworkers to email the union and asking them to please put it up for a vote, and have not received a single response. I remember 3 years ago voting on a proposed contract with an equity adjustment that did not include me, but I still voted yes because I felt that as a collective unit, those county employees deserved it. Now, This contract benefits me. And I want the opportunity to vote on it. I am asking my SEIU 521 union to stop wasting time and put it up for a vote. I don't understand SEIU's silence, especially when I know that every day that goes by, good county employees are not getting the money they deserve. What I do understand is that every day this proposal does not get passed, is every day I'm losing money, our families are losing money, and those employees represented by the union are losing money. So for those county employees who are negatively affected by the stalling of this proposal, please stand up to show your support for putting proposal number 3 modified to a vote. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Morning, Mr. Robles.
Good morning. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S. I am a veteran. And last time I came before you requesting some documentation under the California Public Records Act, you glibly told me you didn't have those records. This brings me to my very first job in the Air Force. I was a missile guidance specialist. My job was to test the operational status of air-to-air missiles. To do this, I and a partner would set a missile on a console and run it through a simulated flight to stop inbound nuclear bombers. One missile I noticed was pegging a meter during one of the checkouts. And I turned to my partner and I said, stop the check. And he said, why? I said, well, because you got a meter pegged. He said, don't worry about it. He proceeded on with a checkout. I went to my boss and I said, hey, we got a problem with the missile. And I explained. The boss said, don't worry about it. Just go back. Well, then I went to his boss and I got the same response. Finally, I went to quality control, and the quality control inspector went out and followed up on my statement, and sure enough, they found that this missile had a shorted pin that would have caused it to malfunction. If that missile had been used to stop an inbound nuclear bomber attacking our country, it would not have done its job, and potentially millions of Americans would have lost their lives in a horrible death. That complacency that was exemplified by my bosses is the same complacency that I found the last time I was before this board. I came to you with valid queries, and you come to me with a snide remark that you don't have the documents
Mr. Robles,
that I am entitled to.
I am sorry to tell you, but your time has expired. And I also apologize if you took that as a glib comment. I was earnestly trying to clarify the issues that you have raised. And I did my best, and I apologize if it wasn't good enough. Have a great day. Who'll be next?
Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. Good morning, Chairman Couch and trustees. Thank you for letting me speak. I continue to look for improvements, upgrades, betterments, and transparency from our elected ROV official. Instead, we see mail-in ballots and voter information guides, sample ballots, being lost, stolen, or late arrivals, as the news media reports. I see no public interaction with this department head to answer questions brought to your board for clarification. I see wasted taxpayer money towards inoperative cameras to provide security for the drop boxes. Let me get straight here. Instead, I see the voters, I've lived in the same residence for 46 years. and recently lost my voting precinct. I will not vote by mail, so I personally looked into other options. I received answers from the election department which confirmed my voter ID number and allows me to vote at my old precinct 1/2 a mile away. There I vote on an ICX handicap machine where my vote is processed as a poll ballot. Question, why is this not option mentioned in our sample ballot? Instead, the voters' rights page in our sample ballot states, if you are a newly registered voter, you may be asked to provide identification according to federal law. But please note that every individual has the right to cast a provisional ballot, even if proper documentation is not provided. Total hypocrisy by our state. In closing, I wanted to question you guys, did you receive the cease and desist letter that was mailed out last week? Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. To answer you, I don't recall a cease and desist letter, by the way. Do you recall it?
Neither do I.
Okay. We'll look at that.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, board members. My name is Charles Shen. I am a retired Marine and a concerned citizen. After observing logic and accuracy testing, asking questions, drawing conclusions based upon past observations, I submit my report. First, Kern County staff are doing their level best to follow directions and procedures as set forth by their department, Dominion Incorporated, and the Secretary of State. Second, this gets offset when you realize that tabulation certifications are produced by local IT staff following Dominion test procedures using Dominion pre-marked ballots. This is like self-evaluation to acquire your driver's license. My observations are that 0 outside inspectors or state officials were present to verify and validate tests. Not a single aspect witnessed by any official besides our employees to certify. This is alarming and incomprehensible. Dominion can assess and validate their own equipment utilizing local IT staff only. Whatever happened to outside federal agency or testing firms who, being neutral parties, fairly evaluate and validate certification? Currently, Secretary of State sets standards for certifications. These are minimum standards as set forth in HAVA and the EAC. These must meet or exceed federal voluntary standards set forth by the EAC. Third, considering our Secretary of State is currently under litigation and election-related lawsuits along with Kern, I recommend we follow stricter guidelines minimizing speculation and doubt with voters. We should openly conduct an audit of 1 or more contested races in this election. The question is, can we meet the minimum error rate set forth by Congress and HAVA, which is 0.0008% or 1 out of 125,000 ballots?
Thank you, Mr. Shin.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning, Board. Pamela Reese, our EECE. Good to see you all. I have a joke. How many tickles does it take to be an octopus? 10 tickles. I thought that was just
That's a Dick Taylor joke.
You're invoking Dick Taylor.
Anywho,
That's a first, Pamela, open with a joke. I love it.
I could have ended with it, but I figured I'd get you off guard. Thank you. I'm here to let you know that vote by mail is for the birds. It doesn't work, we hate it, and there's just too much going wrong. In fact, did we vote it in? I'm not sure. Voter confidence is in the pits. So many irregularities and inconsistencies warrant this feeling. The handout that I've given to you is just a sample of some of the things that have been brought to my attention. For example, the first page, a voter called the elections office and was told that she's from Taft, but the paperwork she got in the ballot, sample ballot, et cetera, says that she needs to go to Tehachapi to vote. That's page number 1. That's her text, her writing that you'll see. And on the second page, another voter from Taft as well is getting different explanations as to why they don't have the appropriate polling site for their name and address. And there's no date on there also to refer to. And on the third page, this is my personal information. It shows you can call or you can go to the website with the Secretary of State, California, find out your voting status, and find out about your ballot, if it was received, et cetera, accepted or not. And this says the date that my ballot was mailed by the county was 9/14/2021.
Sorry, Ms. Reese.
What?
We're at 2 minutes and 24 seconds.
Well, then, that's okay.
Try to keep them to 2 minutes.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay. I wasn't either.
I was reading your material.
However, let's not be so discouraged as to not to vote.
Thank
Get
you.
out there and vote. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Board. My name's Mary Little, Little. Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." According to the Secretary of State, Kern County voter guides are to be sent prior to the upcoming election and before voter ballots. But on 10/07/24, a press release was put out by Elections Department stating, and I quote, "Kern County voters will begin receiving their vote by mail ballots for the 24 presidential election. Ballots will be arriving over the next few days. In addition to the ballots, the county voters guides will follow shortly, providing key details about candidates and measures." This is obviously backwards. When I ran for supervisor in 22, I nor anyone in my area received a voter guide. I heard of other areas that never received a voter guide. I was told of many reasons why, and the last one was that it was never printed. The purpose of the voter guide is vital to our community and those running for office, as you all know, especially since the candidates paid for, especially if the candidates paid for candidate statement. Again, Kern County has systematically failed our community, as many people have not received a voter's guide. Candidates who paid for statements in the voter's guides are again denied a fair and equitable reach for the voters to read and then research the best candidate to cast a vote. So again, why is this happening? Voters are deprived of a just and fair election. Since substandard seems to be the standard in our election process here in Kern County, and it has again occurred, I would think that candidates who paid a fee and did not get a voter's guide for the area should receive a refund. Finally, I believe that Kern County is not operating within law and is open to litigation. And by the way, I still have not received my voter's guide for this election. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Little. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Runa Lamine, RUNALEMMINN, and I'm here representing the Democratic Women of Kern. With the holiday season right around the corner, the Wreaths Across America project is gearing up. In the past, all of you on the Board of Supervisors have been very generous with your donations to that WAA nonprofit. On behalf of the Democratic Women of Kern, thank you. As you all already know, the WAA is a nonpartisan organization, keeping in mind that you represent all people here in Kern County, and with the two political main parties being about equal in number, in registered voters here in Kern, I suggest the Board of Supervisors make an effort this year to appear nonpartisan with your donations. After all, you on the Kern County Board of Supervisors represent and spend money from all residents in Kern County, not only the Republican ones. Perhaps this year, adopt a round-robin style of your generosity. Select one organization each year and just do a round-robin. Or consider donating monies through, for example, the American Legion Auxiliary Bakersfield Unit 26, or even the Democratic Women of Kern. Perhaps you can donate to the WAA equally every year through all local participating organizations and clubs. I think you can agree it's important to show that you represent all your constituents through your actions, not just the Republican ones. Your generosity and donations should be given to honor and respect everyone who lives here in Kern County. Thank you again for your continued support of Wreaths Across America.
Thank you for your comments.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Aiden Starman, A-Y-D-A-N, S-T-R-M-A-N. And I'm a freshman of Lobby Course fellow who sits on the Legislative Affairs Committee with Associated Students Incorporated. I'm here today on behalf of Antonio Reyes, the Vice President of Legislative Affairs, who unfortunately could not attend this meeting due to class commitments. ASI represents over 10,700 students, and our motto is students working for students. And I am honored today to represent my fellow students. I'm here to thank Amy Espinoza, Auditor, Controller, and County Clerk, for her contribution to our recent panel at CSUB. She took the time to provide nonpartisan voting information and resources to students and helping them understand their rights and responsibilities as voters. In an environment where election discussions can sometimes be difficult, Amy has consistently remained committed to providing clear and accurate information. Her dedication to ensuring that that every voter has the tools that they need to participate fully in the democratic process is something that we truly appreciate. Thank you, Amy Espinoza, for your tireless efforts in supporting voters, and thank you for the board for allowing me to speak today. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good morning, Supervisors.
Morning.
Marcy Welch, M-A-R-C-I-E-W-E-L-C-H. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I will be a lot more composed than I was last time I was before you. Regarding serious concerns of the Kern County Elections Department, I was wrongfully terminated by the Elections Department. I appealed it, and by the Civil Service Commission, I was fully reinstated without demotion. Unfortunately, I was unable to return to that environment because of the toxicity that I dealt with for the 4 years prior to my termination. I'm here today because in the last board meeting, 2 observers highlighted and publicly confirmed the environment within the office by stating that they themselves were treated like second-class citizens, something I am oh too familiar with, and that the actions by the management in the elections was intentional, which I'm absolutely familiar with that as well. They said they were scolded for simply checking the time, they couldn't drink water, and that they could feel the tension in the air. That came from observers that were really only in the office for hours. I was there as an employee for 4 years. Myself and 15 plus employees have left that department since Amy Espinoza and Laura Cantu have taken management positions there. I am also here today to highlight the fact, again, that the sample ballot booklet arrived in voters' mailboxes a full week after the voted ballots arrived. That is absolutely unacceptable. You as candidates, you know that those candidate statements are crucial to the voters. It is crucial for them to have that information so that they can make informed voting decisions. Sample ballot booklets should always arrive in the voters' mailboxes before their voted ballots. Amy Espinoza needs to...
We're over our 2 minutes. Could you please bring your comments to a close?
Amy Espinoza needs to stop hiding behind her smoke screens and her statements stating that they have everything under control. They have chased out all of the experienced workers from that department, and she needs to answer as to why that happened with the sample ballot booklet.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Welch. Good morning, sir.
Morning. I'm just here so you can see this Bakersfield shirt so that you understand that you work for us. You guys sit up here and act like you're gods. You're not.
Can you give us your name for the record, please?
Tyrone Smith.
Thank you.
That's why you're being investigated right now, Leticia. Same thing as my wife for using county resources. This doesn't feel good, huh? I can see it in your face. I seen you on the news, the way you look. It's upsetting to have you investigated for something minor like that and your job potentially being online. Well, my wife lost her job. But you could have stopped that in that meeting when it first kicked off. But you chose not to. You chose to sit up there in your seat and sit on your high horse.
This is not appropriate, and the chairman should have stopped it
Yeah,
already,
I know,
but he's not going
I
to do
know.
that. So I'm going to intervene.
You know,
It's not appropriate.
I give people plenty of latitude to say just about anything they want about any of us, including myself. So, but you are...
You want me to talk about him now? I'll talk about last week
that's
when
fine.
my wife got off this stand. You decided to make a joke when the dog came up here and say, oh, we gonna give the dog some time to speak. Was that appropriate? No. So again, I tell you, you work for us. I don't work for you. And I don't need to come up here and say, thank you for letting me come up here. I have the right to come up here.
I agree.
Yeah, I know you agree now. You want to agree now because the walls are closing in. I'm going to tell you something.
There's no walls closing in.
Karma is real. Karma is real.
Sir, do you have...
Karma is real. I do have something to say. I'm going to use all my minutes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, you're going to hear it.
Okay.
Karma is real. And every last one of you will receive it. Trust me. Is that a threat? This world, no, it's not a threat. This world is a good world. Whoa.
Let's get our security.
Back up, Chief.
We don't...
What?
Sir,
Threaten my wife?
either...
Excuse me? What are you finna do, bro?
Gentlemen,
Ain't nobody... You just really gonna walk up behind me? Your wife finna lose her job too.
Yes, sir.
we're going to take a break here.
Y'all ain't nothing but drug dealers.
We're going to take a short break.
It's a complete lie. That's a complete lie.
Okay. I call this meeting back to order, and we'll give this another shot. We are still on public statements, I believe. So if any of you have got a public statement, public presentation?
Good
Let us
morning to
have
the
it.
board.
Morning, how you doing?
I'm Tim Holloway with the Fish and Wildlife Resource Commission. I want to appreciate the board for approving the appointment of District 1 to get our commission full. I had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Flores last year on some issues that we were having with the commission. After COVID, we had a hard time getting back on track again. We're getting more people involved with the commission now, more involvement with the community to let them know what's happening with the wildlife that we have in Kern County. And I wanted to come here and thank you for your support. I'm a commissioner at large, so I service all your areas. And I'm working with, I'm also a volunteer with the Fish and Wildlife, so I see a lot of stuff that's happening in Kern County. And I bring it to the commission meetings to be aware of what's going on with public conflict and wildlife. So I just want to appreciate the support you guys do for our board, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holliday. Yeah, Supervisor Peters.
I was actually going to mention that during board member announcements and reports, but this seems like just as good a time. But thank you for your service on the board, and I also wanted to recognize Jared Cope, who's going to be the new first district appointee to that Wildlife Resource Commission. So thank you guys for what you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Good. Who's next? Good morning.
Morning. Over here.
I'm not going to ask if your dog's going to speak.
Why not? All right, my name is John Hickman. That's JONHICKMAN. Good morning, and thank you again for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Cornerstone and the residents of Eastern Kern County. I'm not here to bring problems, but to offer solutions. We've seen progress in the state hearings, with the first ruling confirming that the county made missteps in the continuity of care process, allowing a client to remain in our treatment program until they graduate. This is a small but important victory, demonstrating that our concerns are valid and that we are right to stand up for the people in our area. But our real goal goes beyond individual cases. What we need is for Cornerstone or any treatment center to become an approved provider to reduce wait times and give people more choice and autonomy in care, and improve outcomes for everyone in our region. Access to care is a human right, and right now our community is being denied that right. So what is the solution? We all want the same thing, to help people. But both our resources should not be tied up in bureaucratic and legal battles. It's a waste of time and money that could be better spent helping more people in need. If we work together, we can create a system that serves everyone, every person, every family, and every community, like the slogan says. But it doesn't ring true how it is now. This is more than just Cornerstone becoming an in-network provider. It's about offering hope and healing to a community that needs it. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to continuing to collaborate to bring positive change to Kern County as a whole. And also, we just want to invite everybody. On December 7th, we're having a graduation ceremony at the American Legion Hall at 5:30, and we'll send out a real invite to your staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hickman. Any other speakers today? If you'd like to speak, can we get you to come to the front row so we can get you up to the microphone quickly? Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, thank you. My name is Barbara Paradise, and this is Kristen Flanagan. And thank you for seeing us today. We're from Clairvita. We are a substance abuse treatment provider in Tehachapi. We actually are the county contracted in-network provider for substance abuse treatment in the Tehachapi area. Clairvita also provides substance abuse treatment services throughout the Kern region, as well as mental health services. We're formerly known as College Community Services. We've changed our name. So we do provide substance abuse treatment, assessment, and outpatient services in the Tehachapi area. And we would also say that we have openings, and so if concerned citizens or people who are needing help, need help for substance abuse treatment or mental health services, to be perfectly honest with you, we are happy to provide that information today. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other public speakers today? Moving on to item 8 is board member announcements and reports. Seeing none, I think we go to item 27, which is the selection of the California State Association of Counties Board of Directors members for 2025. Sure.
Thank you so much. I
Supervisor
don't know
Perez.
what the methodology is planned for today, but I have been the CSAC rep. I'm happy to continue doing it. I don't know where my colleagues stand on that, so I'm happy to hear from them, but I'm happy to continue to do it, so I submit that to my colleagues.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, are you here for this item? No? Kathy, you're here for a lot of items. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I placed this item on the agenda. So I'll just remind your board that each year, the California State Association of Counties requests the election of representatives for all California counties to serve on the CSAC Board of Directors. Your board will need to elect one member and one alternate member for a one-year term before the annual CSAC conference this November. Currently, Supervisor Perez is the primary member and Supervisor Peters is the alternate member. Therefore, it's recommended that your board appoint a member and alternate member to the CSAC Board of Directors and direct the clerk of the board to provide notification to CSAC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to continue the representation that we've had in the prior year moving forward. So first chair, Supervisor Perez, and alternate Supervisor Peters.
Jeff, thank you so much.
Sure.
I'll second that.
Okay, you have a motion. Please cast your votes. I'm sorry. Is there anyone here who'd like to make a comment on this item? Seeing none, please cast your votes.
Thank you. The motion is approved. All ayes.
Item 32 is a proposed formation, structure, and duties of a standing legislative program committee.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, good morning. This item is in response to your board's expressed interest in enhancing the engagement and communication with the county's lobbyists and delegation to ensure Kern County's legislative goals and objectives are heard and advocated for. Today, we are proposing the formation of a standing legislative program committee comprised of 2 board members to facilitate this effort. We are needing the selection of the committee. However, this can be done in January when the other committee assignments are made and the District 2 seat is filled. If the action is approved today, we will plan to convene the committee in January or early February. I would now like to introduce Thomas Brown of my office to discuss and present the item.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As part of the county's recent legislative program review, your board directed the CAO to issue an RFP for state and federal lobbying services. Through that process, the idea of establishing a legislative committee was broached, as were appropriate metrics for measuring lobbying success. Subsequent research revealed that several counties have some form of a standing legislative committee. Monterey, Contra Costa, Santa Barbara, and Los Angeles County, for example, have committees that are structured to review their respective counties' state and federal legislative programs each year, identify ways to increase awareness and advocacy on matters critical to the county's constituents, and more broadly, enhance the overall representation of the county's interests in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. In counties that have legislative committees, the committee is typically made up solely of board members and functions as a standing committee of the Board of Supervisors. Given this information, and in an effort to be responsive to the needs of your board, staff is recommending the formation of a legislative committee here in Kern, which is referred to moving forward as the Legislative Program Committee, or LPC. As is customary, the LPC would be a standing advisory committee comprised of 2 voting members, each selected from among the sitting members of the Board of Supervisors. Selections would be made at the start of each year when the chairman's committee assignments are distributed. If approved today, it would be appropriate for the LPC to convene after committee assignments are made in January 2025. CAO and County Council would provide staff support at the LPC meetings. Representatives from the county's state and federal lobbying firms would be required to attend each meeting, either in person or virtually. The LPC could, as necessary, request the attendance of department heads and other pertinent stakeholders to provide information and guidance on agendized matters. Requested representatives would not be voting members. Staff has determined that it would be appropriate for the LPC to meet monthly, and all meetings would be subject to the Brown Act. Final decisions on legislative matters are ultimately the responsibility of the Board of Supervisors. With that in mind, the LPC would function as an advisory body with recommendations adopted at LPC meetings being brought before the full board for ratification. Once convened, the duties of the LPC would be to identify emerging legislative issues of interest to the county with the aid of committee staff, county departments, and the county's contract lobbyists. Consider strategies to effectively advocate for the county's legislative positions, enhance communication and improve coordination between the Board of Supervisors and contract lobbying firms, county departments, and other pertinent stakeholders on legislative matters. And the last one is consider recommendations for advocacy presented to committee staff, county departments, and contract lobbying firms, and refer legislative positions back to the full board for final action. Although not an exhaustive list, the typical functions of the LPC should include, number one, reviewing and amending the county's annual legislative platform with the assistance of county departments, committee staff, and contract lobbyists. For some background on this, the county's annual legislative platform serves as the guiding document and cornerstone for Kern's decision-making related to legislation and other critical public policy issues. The chairman of the board would still be able to act immediately on legislation that falls under the purview of the platform. Adding the platform to the LPC function simply provides an additional opportunity for the board and public to engage, inform, and vet the county's legislative priorities before the document is taken up by the full board for final adoption. Number two would be the LPC would help identify opportunities for county-sponsored legislation with the assistance of county departments, CAO, and contract lobbyists. County departments in particular will be instrumental in proposing sponsorship of new legislation that is aimed at streamlining and enhancing departmental operations, championing efficiency, and allowing services to be rendered in the most cost-effective manner possible. And the third item here is the LPC would help evaluate the performance of the county's legislative program through regular updates from contract lobbyists on legislation they are actively engaged on for the county. The LPC would help ascertain cost-to-benefit outputs of the legislative program and recommend to the board whether to continue the program at current service levels, enhance the program, curtail the program, or discontinue the program. The proposed LPC structure before your board will add tangible opportunities for greater accountability by requiring our contract lobbyists to, one, assist with the development of the county's legislative program at the beginning of each calendar year, with an emphasis on political strategies that help the county achieve its objectives. Two, meet the county departments at the beginning of each calendar year to understand issues impacting county operations and provide advice on the legislative and regulatory strategies to address those concerns. Three, coordinate with the delegation members who represent the county to present their legislative priorities to the LPC at the beginning of each calendar year in an effort to find synergies that may result in sponsorship of bills that advance the county's legislative priorities. Four, proactively identify, review, and analyze any and all state and federal legislation, regulations, resolutions, ballot issues, and budget proposals of interest to Kern County. Provide reports to CAO in a timely manner and provide necessary analysis and recommended county action so items can be agendized for monthly LPC meetings. And five, coordinate the legislative testimony of county personnel and arrange for meetings with key stakeholders on legislative and regulatory matters critical to the county. Contract lobbyists will quantify their success by, one, determining the fiscal impact resulting from legislation they actively engaged on for the county, dollars obtained for the county, dollars deleted from county programs, and mandates that impact program activities shall be considered in the analysis. Two, determining the rate of preferred outcomes for legislation they actively engaged on for the county. In other words, did bills we support pass and did bills we oppose fail? And three, identifying and quantifying the number of meetings with relevant stakeholders, hearings attended, and testimony provided by lobbyists on legislative and regulatory matters critical to the county's programmatic success and fiscal health. All of these requirements will aid in the development and maintenance of the internal legislative policies and procedures of the county and promote efficient, effective, and coordinated intervention in the legislative process. In addition, these added metrics have been memorialized in the contract lobbyist agreements CAO will bring before your board on November 5th. The proposed agreements stem from the aforementioned RFP process initiated by your board, and the firms selected are those recommended for award by the RFP evaluation team. These agreements will have an initial one-year term in order to evaluate the efficacy of the firms under the new performance criteria outlined in the proposed LPC. This concludes staff's prepared comments. The recommended action is for your board to discuss and consider approval for the formation and convening of the LPC as proposed. We're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. For those of you that don't know, Thomas Brown is very busy day in and day out preparing all kinds of advocacy letters that fall sort of under the purview of that the document you just mentioned. The what did you call it? Our legislative platform? Yeah. So Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Chairman. Just trying to be as nonpartisan as I can up here, without getting too far into the politics. I imagine that a lot of my colleagues, and I know myself, a lot of the issues that we hear about or that we have to deal with are things that aren't necessarily in the county's control. We're subject to a lot of different state and federal laws about how we do stuff. But increasingly, it seems like those laws have Kern County in the crosshairs. The county, our industries, oil, agriculture, water, local control, land use issues. And so I wholeheartedly think that we can't be passive bystanders in the legislative process. So I want to thank our CAO, Thomas Brown, and staff for working on putting this together. I think this will give us a chance to aggressively get engaged in the process, to be a lot more vigilant in laws that are going through the process that are going to impact Kern County and county residents. And so I think this is going to be a great thing for the county, and I want to thank you guys again for your comments on this, and I look forward to hearing from the public and my colleagues' thoughts on it as well.
So why don't we open it up to the public, but that sounded like a board member that was interested in being on the committee to me. Anyone here have a comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll go back to the board.
Supervisor, I didn't punch in, but I could say something.
Please.
Thank you, Chairman Couch. Also, I'd like to commend our new CAO and Thomas for your work on this. And I really like the program evaluation tool that you have to measure success and to chart a course. So just thank you and kudos to you. We'll be well served by this committee.
That sounded like another board member that was interested in this committee.
Chair, may I ask a
Yes,
question?
certainly.
Thank you. What's the process here? Because I agree with you, and I think both of them would be fantastic, but are we supposed to be teeing up I'm confused.
We are, hopefully, out of this item, we will come up with two board members that want to serve on that committee, and we'll make a motion to that effect and pass it. And
got it.
I believe that's what
Yeah.
you're
Mr.
requesting.
Chairman, if you can do that, or you can wait. Your board typically in January will make assignments. It'll take us about that long to get coordinated for that.
Oh, so you're
You could-
suggesting the committee,
either way,
the
we will-
new chair would make the assignment?
Correct. So you typically do assignments in January. We're happy to take assignment, and you'll be placed on that in January if you want to make that determination now.
Well, if you're
But you
not-
could also wait till District 2 is seated.
If you're not going to meet until January, February, then
Correct. You have time. Correct.
I would just suggest we allow that to be a chairman's assignment like it normally would be.
That would make sense. Correct.
Okay.
I also think, and no offense to whoever's in D2, I don't know that they're going to be in a great position to lobby for on behalf of Kern County up in Sacramento, truth be told. I mean, we have two standing members that are excited to serve, that are interested in that, and both of you are, I think, really represent intellectually, politically, and kind of sort of spiritually the heart of Kern County, if you will. I really do believe that. The politics that sort of dominates Kern County. And frankly, I see both of you as moving in a direction that I think is very good for Kern County. The way in which I see you do your business up here and practice your politics, I sincerely believe that. So, this is an opportunity to continue to drive home who Kern County is in Sacramento with new faces, with new voices that are reasonable, that are smart, and represent Kern County. So I'd be happy to I think, proceed today, Chair. I'll leave it to you how exactly to do it. I think these two would be great. I would not be inclined to put a brand-new person to represent us just yet, but that's, without knowing who it is, I don't want to make any prejudices. That just, in general, these folks have been dealing with Kern County issues from the Board of Supervisors for some time now. So that's my humble opinion.
Well, if you're okay with, I'm okay with them doing it. So why don't we just make a motion to that effect?
Yeah, I appreciate that, and thank you for the kind words, but I will make a motion to move forward with staff's recommendation to approve and to place myself and Supervisor Flores, if
Second,
he's willing.
yeah, I'd be honored to serve with Supervisor Peters and serve our board and the public. And then I'm looking forward to the new assignments for the next year, because I think I need to call some back if I take this one on.
It's a big one.
Yeah, so,
You'll
okay.
do great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, so that was a motion and a second by
Yeah.
Supervisor Flores. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
That takes us to the end of the morning agenda. We just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So
Without
moved.
objection, we're adjourned. Thanks.